can be internally stable when the world is moving around. I think that is the way of dealing with all the ups and downs in life, right? If you can remember that this too shall pass, I think you are going to survive and do well. The only thing that you can control is your reaction to the outcome and moving on to the next game instantly rather than just staying there, oh, self-pity or ecstasy.
And I do think that in life as well as in investing, patience is a competitive advantage. And I learned that lesson the hard way during COVID when I sold part of my portfolio. And in hindsight, it was one of the biggest mistakes I made. You know, it's literally like the darkest hour is the one before dawn, and I sold in that darkest hour. Is the one before dawn, and I sold in that darkest hour. But tell me a little bit about how one can build patience, because I notice in your interaction with all the experts and all the legends, the one trait that they have cultivated over time is patience.
But I think the art of waiting is it's I think it all starts with what kind of information, what kind of people you're surrounding yourself with. Information has shelf life. If you only consume or if you largely consume information with long shelf life, if you zoom out and things, right? And in the vast expanse of the universe, that Earth was looking like a pale blue dot. We are fighting wars, we are fighting for land, we are imposing tariffs, we are losing money, we are being unkind to people, or we are being kind to people on that pale blue dot. When you zoom out and you look at Earth as a pale blue dot, and when you compress the age of the Earth, which is 4.5 billion years, into say 1 year, right? If you can think in terms of zooming out, if you can think in terms of long ranges, if you are looking at charts, look at 100-year charts, look at 50-year charts, not of stocks but of economies, of markets. And if you juxtapose the idea of cycles over there, you realize that the most important skill to cultivate in life is, as I think Morgan Housel used a term called shut up and wait. So when you're looking at in terms of zooming out on your portfolio, zooming out on your long-term financial needs, and not focusing on the daily volatility of the stock market, which we equate with risk, which is not risk, it's simply volatility, right? When you zoom out, you see that if you do your work well, if you identify good business, good investments, good stocks, good mutual funds, good fund managers, you just have to put your focus on having patience and not doing anything. And not doing anything which is inaction is also an action.